I'm Mrs. Wheeler. Come one, come all to our very first general seminar class. Think about this. You sit down to your computer to write a document. What's the first thing you do? Choose a font. And you're probably picking that font based on how it feels. Maybe it's fun, professional, serious. But how did those fonts you're picking come to be? Let's find out. Let's start off with one of the most successful and popular typefaces, Times New Roman. The name actually tells us a lot about its history because it was created for the Times of London in 1932 by Monotype. The decision to create a new typeface actually came out of some frustration and lack of legibility for the old typeface. Here's a look at the first issue debuting Times New Roman in October of 1932. A year later, the font was offered to the public, and then decades later, it became even more famous as it was included on computer operating systems. Now don't stop this video and storm off when you hear the name of the next font, because we have to talk about it. It's Comic Sans. In the 1980s, Vincent Connar worked for Microsoft, and he set out to create a typeface that stood out from all the other boring traditional typefaces being used. Inspired by comic book writing, the font was originally created for a kids program called Microsoft Bob, but when that didn't work out, it was included as a system font on Windows 95. Who remembers that? Back then, there weren't many fonts to choose from, so Comic Sans stood out and was used everywhere. But as fonts over the years became more readily available, Comic Sans became the font that people loved to hate. Where do you stand with Comic Sans? Next we have Ariel. No, not the mermaid. Created in 1982 by Monotype, the same folks that brought us Times New Roman decades earlier. Ariel was intended to be used on an IBM laser printer, but once it became preloaded on Microsoft and Apple computers, it quickly became one of the most used sans serif types. Which one should I do next? 1996, Matthew Carter created a new serif typeface for Microsoft. It was formal, but friendly, and it was a great alternative to Times New Roman. It is Georgia. The interesting thing about Georgia is it was originally created to be easier to see on low resolution screens, but it has stood the test of time and is still widely used even on our higher resolution screens today. We'll end with a more recent font that has quickly become the new norm, Calibri. In 2004, Lucas de Groot was secretly hired by Microsoft to create a font that was easy to read on screen. He had no idea that it was going to become the default typeface for Microsoft Office. Since its release, it has been the brunt of a few political scandals, also known as Fontgate, but I'll let you look that one up on your own. Are you not sure what's a font and what's a typeface? No problemo. Jamie actually created a free download on her website, and I'll put it in my blog post, and it explains it all to you. It's called, what is it called? How to use fonts like a designer. Let's keep the font love going. For your homework, simply comment with the font that you use the most. What is your go-to font when you're in a document, designing, whatever? Put it in the comments because I didn't get to all the typefaces today, so I want to know which ones you think I should research next. Comment with the font that you use the most. Ow. We'll see you guys in May.